The moment I stepped inside her house, my chest tightened in a way I couldn't explain, like I had crossed an invisible line I wasn't ready for. The air smelled of old books and cardamom tea, familiar yet unsettling, and my eyes betrayed me by wandering everywhere except where they should have rested. That was when her mother's presence filled the room, calm and steady, and something unspoken pressed against my conscience, as if she could see straight through the carefully arranged version of myself I had brought along. I had come for my girlfriend, convinced this evening was about love, reassurance, and plans for the future, but in those first seconds, I felt the ground shift beneath me, as though I was about to confront a truth I had avoided for far too long. Before the story unfolds any further, take a moment right now. If you believe in kindness, in second chances, and in the idea that life can surprise us in the most unexpected ways, please like this video, share it with someone who might need it, leave a thoughtful comment, and subscribe to the channel. Your support keeps stories like this alive. I had always thought of myself as a decent man, someone who tried to do the right things, even if I didn't always understand why my heart felt restless. My girlfriend and I had been together for almost 2 years, a relationship built on shared routines, comfortable silences, and future plans spoken casually over coffee. Coming to her house that evening was supposed to be another step forward, a sign that we were serious. Yet as I stood in the living room, surrounded by family photos that told decades of quiet perseverance, I felt strangely hollow. Her mother was there, arranging cups on a tray, her movements unhurried, her face marked by lines that spoke of sacrifice and resilience. I noticed everything, the faded curtains, the soft hum of the ceiling fan, the ticking clock, everything except her eyes. And in avoiding her gaze, I didn't realize I was avoiding myself. Growing up, I had learned how to look confident while feeling uncertain. My parents had taught me ambition, responsibility, and the importance of appearances, but no one had taught me how to sit with discomfort or recognize emotional truth. I had built my life on momentum, always moving toward the next goal without questioning whether it aligned with who I truly was. Being with my girlfriend felt safe, predictable, almost pre-written. I cared for her deeply, but somewhere inside, a quiet voice kept asking if caring was enough. That night, in her childhood home, that voice grew louder, echoing off the walls I didn't belong to. Her mother's presence unsettled me because it carried no pretense. She didn't try to impress me or interrogate me. Instead, she simply existed with a kind of calm that demanded honesty. I sensed that she had lived through disappointment and hope alike, that she had loved fiercely and endured loss without letting it harden her. When she sat across from me, I felt seen in a way that made my carefully maintained composure feel fragile. It wasn't attraction in any simple sense, it was recognition. She mirrored a depth I had been ignoring, a depth that asked more of me than comfort ever had. As the evening unfolded, my girlfriend chatted easily about work, about upcoming plans, about a future she seemed confident in. I nodded along, smiled when expected, but my mind was elsewhere. I found myself watching her mother instead, noticing the way she listened, the patience in her posture, the subtle sadness that flickered across her face when she thought no one was paying attention. It struck me that she had likely given up dreams of her own to build this family, to create stability where life had offered uncertainty. In her quiet strength, I saw the weight of choices made not for excitement, but for love. And suddenly, my own choices felt shallow by comparison. That night forced me to confront a truth I had been avoiding. I was living on autopilot. I was with my girlfriend not because she challenged me to grow, but because she fit neatly into the life I thought I was supposed to have. The realization didn't come with drama or sudden clarity, it came with guilt, confusion, and a deep sense of unease. I didn't want to hurt her, yet I knew that staying without honesty would be a greater betrayal. The hardest part wasn't admitting this to her, it was admitting it to myself. Over the next few weeks, I found myself replaying that evening in my mind. Every routine moment felt heavier, colored by the awareness that something fundamental was wrong. I noticed how easily I dismissed my own emotions, how I avoided difficult conversations by convincing myself they could wait. But waiting only made the truth louder. I started to see how fear had shaped my life more than courage ever had. Fear of being alone, fear of disappointing others, fear of choosing a path without clear guarantees. When the inevitable conversation finally happened, it wasn't explosive or dramatic. It was quiet, painful, and filled with tears that neither of us could fully explain. Ending the relationship felt like tearing away a part of my identity, leaving behind an empty space where certainty used to live. In the aftermath, I questioned myself relentlessly. Had I made a terrible mistake? Was I chasing an illusion sparked by a single evening and an uncomfortable feeling? Or was I finally listening to a truth that had been whispering to me for years? Time passed, as it always does, and with it came reflection. I began to understand that the moment with her mother wasn't about her specifically, it was about what she represented. She embodied a life lived with depth, accountability, and emotional honesty. She reminded me that love isn't just about ease, it's about presence, sacrifice, and the courage to face uncomfortable truths. I realized that I had been avoiding meaningful connection because it required vulnerability, and vulnerability terrified me. In the months that followed, I worked on myself in ways I never had before. I learned to sit with silence, to question my motivations, to acknowledge my fears without letting them dictate my choices. I rebuilt relationships with greater honesty, even when it felt awkward or exposed. Slowly, I started to feel more aligned with who I was becoming rather than who I had been pretending to be. One evening, long after the breakup, I ran into her mother unexpectedly at a local bookstore. The encounter was brief, but it carried a weight that lingered. She greeted me warmly, without judgment or bitterness, as if she understood that life had taken us all where we needed to go. In her eyes, I saw no accusation, only acceptance. That moment offered a quiet closure I hadn't realized I needed. It affirmed that growth often comes from unexpected mirrors, from people who challenge us simply by being fully themselves. As I walked away that night, I felt a strange mix of gratitude and melancholy. Gratitude for the lesson, for the discomfort that had pushed me toward honesty, and melancholy for the love that ended so something truer could begin. I understood then that some relationships enter our lives not to last forever, but to wake us up. They reveal parts of ourselves we can no longer ignore, even if the revelation costs us something precious. If this story is resonating with you so far, if you've ever faced a moment that forced you to question the life you were living, take a second right now to connect with us. Like the video, share it with someone who might be struggling silently, and subscribe to the channel. Your engagement helps these stories reach hearts that need them. Looking back, I no longer see that evening as a mistake or a betrayal. I see it as a turning point. A moment when avoidance gave way to awareness. Life didn't suddenly become easier after that, but it became more honest. And in honesty, I found a sense of peace I had never known. I learned that love demands courage, not just commitment, and that sometimes the bravest thing we can do is admit when something no longer aligns with our truth. Just before this story ends, I want to ask you something personal. Please comment below and share whether you believe moments of discomfort are meant to teach us something important, or if you've ever had an experience that changed your path in an unexpected way. Your words might help someone else feel less alone. As the memory of that night fades into the larger story of my life, it remains a quiet reminder that growth often arrives disguised as unease. We don't always recognize its importance in the moment, but when we look back, we see how it reshaped us. If this story touched your heart, stirred your emotions, or made you reflect on your own journey, please show your support by engaging with the video. Your likes, comments, and shares mean more than you know. Sometimes, a single story can remind us that choosing truth over comfort is the first step toward a life that truly feels like our own.